I almost said happy Friday, but it's not Friday, is it? It's Thursday. I haven't been on in a while. I'll wait till a couple peeps get on. Yeah, let me just scoop up some of my little spatula of Tatcha Dewy Skin Moisturizer. Love this stuff. It smells like Fruit Loops, which is more reason to love it, but not the only. It's very moisturizing. But this weather, I need warmth again. It's starting to get cool. It's like only in the 50s right now, or 50 maybe. It was 45 like an hour ago, so it's supposed to get up to, I think, like right up to 60, something like that. So here we are. I have been MIA because Cora was sick. I had to pick her up from school. She was throwing up. All the fun, happy talks. On what day was that? Monday? Yeah, Monday I had to pick her up from school. And she was home, and then she finally went back today. So I've been working, just taking care of my little nugget. And now we're going to do some makeup chat. Let's chat. I put out a new podcast episode today about, does your ex-narcissist miss you? If you don't know, I have a Marie. Oh, thank you. I know, I was thinking of you. I was like, oh, I haven't talked to my Marie. I have a note. ADD. We write notes on our hands like children. And I'm using my Dermatology Universal Tinted Moisturizer, SPF 46. So how are you, Marie? How's everybody? So yeah, I put that new podcast episode out. Also, if you guys don't know, I have a free meditation that you can sign up. It's free to get. I think it's usually in my description. I should make sure and update that. Another note I need to write on my hand. So, but yeah, I like this stuff. It's dewy. Let's put a light on. Will it help? Didn't help that much. So I have a window here, but from the window to the wow. But I have a ring light too to make it brighter, which does help when the room's dark. But when it's already bright, I don't know that it does that much. But anyway, so it's been a week, you know, things, when you have a sick child, it kind of throws your plans off, throws your stuff off. Also, I signed up for, I said this in my, I did a declutter video yesterday. I'm doing a hip hop dance class starting in the end of June that will actually at the end have a performance, which won't be till next summer if I'm just in beginner. But if I can be gangster enough, do we think I could be intermediate, guys? I don't know. It's so weird because, like, when I was younger, I was a dancer. Like, I would definitely be in intermediate or advanced at points in my life, right? But now I'm 43 and I haven't been, I dance, but it's like in my living room. I don't think that counts. So it'd be so cool if I could do intermediate, because they have a winter show for the intermediate and advanced people. So maybe if I could like work through it in the summer, maybe I could get moved up in the fall. If I could pop it, lock it, drop it real good. I'm so excited. Y'all know I love hip hop. If you don't, now you know. I feel like putting, oh, this stuff smells. I might get rid of it. Ugh, I like the look. It's Glossier. Let me show you on my hand. This oil that's in it, ugh, it's like, oil serum hybrid. It doesn't say what it is on here. On the box it said, I forget, maybe is it meadow seed or something? Ugh, I can't do it. It's like, it's very shiny and oily. Oh my God. Oh, okay, that's going in the trash. I just can't. I thought maybe I could do it, but when it's on your face, you can smell it, and that shit is nasty. Like, I don't know who decided that was an okay smell. Not me. Anything but that. What else? I made this. I made this with Cora. We made some. Do you remember these? If you're an older person and don't have little ones anymore, memory lane, where you put the beads on. This one's actually like the best one I think I've ever done, where the holes are like, I like them this size holes, not too small, not too big, but basically you have like a plastic board where you put all the little beads. And I used to love this when I was a kid. It was one of my favorite things to do. So you line up the little pattern of beads, and then your son made them, Marie. Aw. And then you put like, there's this, I guess it's similar to parchment paper. Maybe it is parchment paper, wax paper, whatever. You lay it on top, and then you take the iron, and you gotta like do this for, I don't know, 15 or so seconds. And then when this is sealed up, you can like flip it over like that, and then you do it on the other side, and then you let it cool. Isn't that fun? I love the colors. I wanted to do like a sunsetty type color, but it's a little pinker than most sunsets, but a girl can dream. So, and I've been having a headache and like neck stiffness. I don't know if it's like me fighting whatever Cora had. She had a stomach thing, but she had body aches and a headache, and I've had a massive headache the last couple of days. Like, but I also don't know if it's the weather because it's getting cooler. So let's do the rest of my face while we chat skis. So we're talking about narcissists. Basically, I'll give it away. You should listen to the episode anyway. But but narcissists really, they don't miss you. They miss what you give them, right? Because it's always about the narcissist and what they're taking, what they are being fed, right? So they actually do not miss you. They miss the control of the control they have over you, and they miss you feeding their ego. Anything good related, they're missing that. But, and this is the hard part I say in the podcast, like, are you necessarily special in their eyes? No. And that, I think that's one of the hardest things for us as narcissistic victims, survivors, whatever you want to call it. I know people have yelled at me for saying victims. I'm sorry. But like, it's semantics to me. I mean, I get it. I get the mindset. You don't want to be a victim. It's not empowering to call yourself a victim, blah, blah, whatever. To me, and when you are the subject of somebody's crap and it affects you, you are a victim. You get hit by a car, you're a victim. Are you a survivor too? Because you lived through it? Yeah. Okay? So, fight me on that one. No, but they don't miss you. They don't miss you. And that is the hardest thing, is realizing how much they because we take it as it's we're not special. It doesn't mean you're not special. It means that they don't know how to cherish, how to value anybody. They wouldn't know what special was if it hit them in the face. But what for me, eventually it made it easier, like, wait, just because I'm not special, it took me a while to get to that point, like, no one's going to be special to this person. That gave me actually a lot of comfort. It gave me a lot of comfort, and I felt like, okay, no one's going to be special. It's not just me. And you know what? I can be special to other people. I am special to other people. And we often focus on where we lack in relationships, right? We will focus on the people who are not valuing us. I'll be honest, I even did that last year. I need to put eyeshadow on first. I have a couple friends and a specific group of friends that, like, I don't know why, it's not like we had a fight. It's not, we just kind of grew apart. But I felt like I was still trying, which came, I will be honest, that came not so much as like, oh, I miss them so much. It came from a lack of like, well, I want to know that I still matter to them. I will be frank. That's where it came from. So that was, I don't know, actually that was like a few years ago. That was like during the first year of the pandemic. weren't making an effort, which I know a pandemic was crazy, but like, instead of being like, okay, yeah, we grow apart, people, whatever, it was like, I was still trying to connect or reach out, and then they'd like not get back to me, or just like not give a lot, you know? And that was hard because it just came from this place of like, when you go through narcissistic abuse or any neglect, any dismissiveness in your life, any mistreatment, and you don't feel enough, that can have lasting results, right? And I think I'm finally getting over that entire hump, but that showed that it wasn't totally all gone, right? Like that showed that years, you know, even 3 years ago, that I was still hoping to matter to people who weren't valuing me. And F that. The second, to me, the second you feel like you don't matter to somebody is the second you shift to what really matters, right? Like, I know my worth. And then there's the whole God thing. If you're a God person, which I am, I remind myself I matter to God, right? Like, I am a valuable, worthy person, and I matter to God. And then you look at the people who are in your life. Sometimes, like I said, we focus so much on people that aren't valuing us because there's lack and there's this like need to feel wanted. Especially people who have been through what we've been through. Like, it's just a dynamic that has been created through narcissistic abuse, where they create the codependency / need for approval, right? So that's some realness right there. I did go through that a few years ago with those friends. And then I don't know, a light bulb went off. And I was like, what am I doing? Let me focus on the people who are here, who do want to, I sound like Lucille Ball, who do want to hang out with me, who do value me. And if you still feel like a void, put yourself out there, make new friends. And I've done that, especially the last year. Like last summer, I really started to make a new friend group and like, you know, find people that appreciate and value you, and likewise, all right? And it's so much, it's so much more peaceful. It's my favorite word, right? Peace. Like, it is so much more peaceful when you let go of wanting to be liked. And it's interesting, my personality, I don't want to be liked by everybody. I am not for everybody. I'm a strong personality. I'm loud. I'm crazy. I'm silly. Whatever. I'm not going to be for everybody. But for me, the hard thing for me is once I have a tight friendship, it has been in the past hard for me to let go. Even when it's like maybe a natural way. Like some friends, I guess it didn't make sense because I had some friends, and tell me if you've had this too. Some friends, I was single, they were married, it never changed our dynamic. Or like when I got married, I still had single friends I hung out with, and like the dynamic didn't change. But I feel like with these particular friends, well, I felt like it didn't change. Why should it change, right? Like we still have a lot in common. We still care about each other. I think they, for whatever reason, like we grew apart, and something about me getting married and having a child shifted our friendship, which I think it was hard for me because I wasn't having that with other friends. And I'm like, well, why would it matter in this friendship, right? So wondering, have you guys had friends where, well, on either end of the spectrum, where you have shifted when you've gotten married or had kids or moved? Especially, actually, when I moved only an hour away, friendships changed, which I did not expect. And there was one friend, I would make an effort, I would go drive out there, and she came out to visit one time, and she was like, that drive is too long, I'm not doing this again. And that showed me what I had to see about her, right? It was like, oh, okay, I drove out there like 50 times, but I'm not worth the one time you come out. Like, that was shitty feeling. But back to focusing. So with the narcissists, you know, they create this dynamic in your life that carries on through other people and through other relationships, where often you will still focus on the need for that connection. And if someone is just like grows apart or doesn't like you anymore for whatever reason, it's harder for us to accept, because we've learned to be like codependent in our relationships in ways. Mine, and often that'll show up in romantic relationships. What's interesting about mine is, and I find with my clients, it's mostly they've been codependent in their romantic relationships. If they've been in narcissistic, abusive childhoods, or like their first romantic relationship, or they were married to a narcissist, now they're dating and they're like clinging on, because you learn that dynamic. For me, it was always with friendships, never with romance. I've never been like really codependent on my romantic relationships. I've been pretty independent, where I like to have my space. I like to do my own thing. Even now with my husband, I mean, we do not do everything together. We have a great balance, but like, I don't like being like this all the time with a romantic partner. But I noticed with my friendships, I did have that. It was like I'd have a best friend, like, but essential, right? And what happened with one of my friends was we were but essential for years, and then she got into a very serious relationship, and I think I didn't know how to deal with that change, you know? And I'm like, what? She would stop inviting me to the family parties and stuff like that. And I'm like, wait, why does it have to change? Why can't I still be part of this? So that caused some friction. I didn't really realize it was until it did, and then we weren't friends anymore. But I think that caused some friction that I didn't see. I don't know if she even knew exactly what it was, but we basically grew apart, and she started, I feel like, treating me not that nice. And in her mind, maybe I was like, still holding on to expectations of a friendship that needed to be loosened a little. But I was young, and I was just, that's what I knew. And I'm like, I don't understand why it has to change. Why can't I still be at the family parties? Why can't I, when she had like, I don't want to say replace me, because people get boyfriends, they get, relationships, and that it's a normal shift. But I didn't know how to navigate it, right? So then I think she probably got annoyed and whatever, and then she started being not the nicest to me, and then boom. But I'm just giving you a picture of, it helps me to know like the narcissists and how their minds work, that they don't miss you, you're not valuable, and that hurts so bad it stings. But what you can do with that is look at it as like, honestly, a relief, because that's where the healing can start, where you can say, they're not like other healthy people that may miss you. Like, you break up with a healthy individual who's healthy. I don't know. We all have levels of our faults and flaws and good things. But if you're with like a more healthy relationship and you break up because of whatever reasons, people break up for all different reasons, and that's fine. You're going to miss each other in a healthy way, a normal way of like, oh, I'm grieving this loss. I was with this person all the time. Maybe you lived together. Maybe you saw each other, twice a week. Maybe you knew their families. You had mutual friends. So you're grieving a loss. Like, it's totally normal behavior to do that. With a narcissist, it's entirely different, where you, as a healthy person, but have probably become codependent, so it's going to feel worse. You're going to feel a bigger hole inside. And then on top of that, you're dealing with somebody who's not even reciprocating the missing you, and you can feel that energy. I mean, I can. I had a narcissistic ex, and I found it to be more about getting me back for the win. He kept trying to get me back. But when he got me back, because we did that cycle a few times, it wasn't like he truly wanted to make me happy and make things better and make up for what he had done, because he had done some shit, right? He had been not nice. He'd called me names. But he won me over, back over with flowers and cookies. I'm a sucker for a good chocolate chip cookie. But it was more about the control, more about them winning and them saying like, look, I got her back. And then sometimes they'll do that and then dispose of you. He didn't dispose of me. He always tried to get me back. And he loved in his own way, right? But it's not the normal, healthy way. But he would give me all these promises. If you get back with me, I'll do this and that. And never lived up to them, right? A lot of lip service. So you look at patterns like that and you can tell when people truly miss you and value you versus them doing it for selfish reasons, for control, to not feel rejected, right? Because I broke up with him. So that was out of his control. If they break up with you, often they won't try to get you back because they broke up with you because you were not serving their ego. Odds are you were finally standing up for yourself, or you weren't giving them everything they needed in a healthy way. You were probably being healthier, pulling back some, whatever it is. Or did they find a new supply? They started cheating on you and that person was their new shiny object. Whatever the case is, narcissists do not love like normal people. I hate to say normal people. None of us are normal. Healthier people, right? They just don't. And therefore, they don't miss in the same way. Everything is about them and feeding their ego. And that is all they miss. At the end of the day, all they miss is what they're getting, right? They're not getting like, oh, I miss her beautiful eyes, and I miss how she was so thoughtful, and I miss this. It's like, I miss having control. And a lot of it, again, I will say a lot of it is the cannot handle rejection, where it's just like this compulsion inside of them. If they get rejected, they have to fix that. They have to, because they're not on top if they don't fix it. They're not in control. And they're not right? Again, we have talked about this, where narcissists act like they have this whole, like, confidence, right? That's a joke. And some people really don't know that. Some of you may, if you've studied narcissism, you know narcissists are actually deep down where they can't even reach, where they won't even pop the top open to look in that far. They are some of the most insecure people in the world. And you often will not see that. I've talked about this, but one of my narcissists, so I've had two, one in my family and one long relationship with narcissists. The one in the family, I got like a little piece of vulnerability once when they were drinking, because sometimes that can happen, right? When people drink, some of that deep, deep truth comes out. And it came out for a second, but when I kind of referenced it and said, well, you just said that, no, that's crazy, right? And then they gaslight you, told me I was crazy, that I didn't say that. And I'm like, I wish I had recorded the conversation, because that literally was 2 minutes ago, what you said. But it's like they may have little moments of vulnerability, and they will get, ooh, it can only be for so long. So anyway, that is my little preaching today. But yes, check out I had two podcasts this week. The first one was about going no contact, the benefits and the challenges of going no contact with a narcissist. It's a highly requested show. And then does my ex miss me? I feel like I just see that. No one requested that one, but I've seen it in a lot of the forums and stuff. It's like, does he even care? Does he even miss me? He misses what was serving him. It's like the drug dealer reference. Like, he was the drug addict, you were the drug dealer, and he misses the drug that you were giving him or her. That's what it is. And that's a hard truth to swallow, but the faster you swallow it, the easier and faster you can let go. The end, my friend, amen. All right, let's put on some Cheeky. I really I really preached right there, didn't I? I did a book club yesterday. That was fun with my stepsister. She invited me. And a book, you know Brene Brown? Any of y'all know her? If you have not seen Brene Brown's special on Netflix or her TED Talk, go. Go. Just go. Get off here and go. No. I love Brene Brown. So she's more like research-based, but it's a lot of the self-help, and she studied shame very deeply, and this book is about that. Shame and courage are like her two things that it's not just she talks about it and dug into her own self, which she did, but also researched other people and successful people and people who lived certain, what does she call it? Darn it, I can't think of the word right now, but a certain glorious way that people live. She like interviewed them to see, like, kind of not like explore the mind of them to see how they are where they are, how they got there, that sort of thing. But it's like all very research based. She is a researcher. So it's like a different angle. It's pretty cool. So I did a book club. It was pretty nice. So that's like a 4-week thing. I started last night. It'll be the next, like, all of May, I guess. And I love that. I haven't done a book club in a while, so I'm excited about that. Do any of you do book clubs? If so, also put in the comments if you're on replay or now, what is a book that changed your life? Is there a life-changing book of yours? One of mine was when I was a stay-at-home mom and trying to do all the things for everybody else, especially my kid, and trying to make sure she was socialized and that I was socialized and I was doing all the things. I literally got this book. I remember it was after someone said, oh, hey, you're going to be at the party Saturday, right? And I looked at my schedule and I was like, shit, I double booked. I literally double booked. And I was just overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed with all the scheduling and all. I was, I've always been doing side businesses, and I was doing my side business, stay-at-home momming, scheduling everything, juggling all the balls. And so I got this book, and I don't remember if someone recommended it or what. It was called The Best Yes by somebody with an L name, Lyra something, I think, something like that. But The Best Yes. And it had a little bit of God stuff in there, but it was really about saying yes to you and your, like, first priorities, like God, family, you. Like maybe you have another, like traveling. Let's say that's really important to you and you haven't traveled in 5 years. Okay, you need to shift something, right? Like anything, you write down your major priorities and start thinking about, are the activities and what I'm doing filling my life up? Is that in alignment with what I really want to be doing, with my values, with my goals? And that's what my business coach always says. She says, this week, like, what you did this week, was it in alignment with what your goals are, right? So it's like, well, on Monday, planning forward, like, how can I set up my days this week to line up with my goals? My goals since the pandemic not ended, I know it's not totally gone, but you know what I mean, has been close to ending, and we're out there more, whatever, is to connect again to more people, right? So that's literally when I'm planning my week out, I'm like, all right, who am I going to hang out with this week to make sure I'm connecting with women, right? And of course, you guys know I do this stuff all the time. It's like, I don't have to plan this because it's a part of my everyday, this work I do, but that's my purpose, is to help women who have gone through abuse, right? I'm doing that every day in some form. Then it's like making sure I have family time. That's very important to me. Okay, when you're planning your week, are you making sure you have family time, just us? Every Friday night, me, Mike, and Cora have pizza. We have a pull-out couch. We get pizza and our drinks, and we put on a family movie. And that's something that is a standard every Friday. And then we usually do something else, like during the weekend. But we see other people too, so there's the social aspect. And if religion is important to you, God's important to you, are you prioritizing that? Are you going to church? Or are you saying like, oh, well, Shelly Nay's cousin is having another baby, so I can't go to church? Is Shelly Nay in your priorities? I don't know. So, and this is something I do with my clients as well when we start working together, is like, where's your life working and not working? What are your priorities and your values? That's where stress starts. Stress starts when your values and what you want to actually do with your life are not aligned with your daily activities and your actions and your thoughts and all. Doesn't that make sense? If this is all of what you want to do and you're doing all this and it's not matching up, you're going to be, that is what causes stress. I know there are outside circumstances. I just did a Facebook post about this yesterday. There are outside circumstances that, yes, they're out of our control. Someone gets sick. Well, yeah, that's not in alignment with me being peaceful and joyful, right? But shit happens, right? So it's recognizing some stuff is out of our control, but what is in my control that I can plan this week? What is in control? Okay, example. I don't know why I feel like my life is getting cluttered up again. Looking even right here, like, so what am I going to do about that? Because that is causing me disrupt, and I prioritize peace. I'm looking down being like, this isn't peaceful right now. So maybe I carve out time later in this week to clean up my desk and to get rid of some stuff. Because like the question is, do I need this many brushes for my face? Am I prioritizing brushes? Yes, I am. I don't need to prioritize brush. And sometimes that's like letting go of the idea of like, oh, but I spent money on that. Right, but it's at what cost to your peace? Right? So that is one of the big reasons I hold on. I'm like, well, I got these 3 mascaras to try them all out. I don't like any of them, but I'll just use them anyway because I spent this money. But they're sitting out here taking up space and mind and energy. It's more to manage. So that's something, just because I know a lot of y'all have some clutter, have some stuff you're holding on to that you don't need to. It's like, would I buy this again? No. In the trash. That was in the trash. But that's something to think about too. I know we're going on like way tangents, but it's all related. It's all related to getting our peace. Does your narcissist miss you? Probably not, you messy bee. Just kidding. All right, so go listen to my podcast. It's But Still She Thrives. If you are not following, go actually hit follow or subscribe. I don't know what it says on there. I think it says subscribe. So go to But Still She Thrives on Apple, or if you just Google it, it'll show up. It's on other, like Google Play, all different things. I'm not on Spotify because they have a weird terms and conditions that I really don't want to be a part of. Like they basically take the rights to your podcast, I believe. I have to double check, but I was like, homie, don't want that, because that means they could like do anything they want with my podcast. I like to own my stuff, right? So go listen to that, hit subscribe on it, and if you dare, I dare you, do you like a good dare? I dare you to leave me a 5-star review. Oh, no, that would help me so much. Would you please? If you do listen to it already and you haven't given me a review, that really, really helps it to get to more people so I can help more people. And that's what I'm here for. I want to help everyone I can. So help me help others. Like if you get any value from these talks, share this on your YouTube. If you get value from my podcast, share the podcast or write a review, and that will help the algorithm show it to more people. Like, I feel like I'm 43. I have a lot of people I want to help. So help me. All right. Love you guys. See you in the next video. Bye, Marie, if you're still there. And you should go out and buy some more beads. Buy some beads for nostalgia's sake. They're fun. I would totally do this even if Cora wasn't around. Go play. Go play today. Do something playful for yourself. Okay? And put your smooches. Oh, look at that chip nail polish. I was picking it off last night because I didn't want to have to remove it with remover. But I couldn't get it all. Oh, bye. Bye, coffee. Deuces, see you tomorrow.